Yes, Narishita, you can start.
Okay, I can start now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. মই মৃদুস্মিতা ডেকাই এটি চেষ্টাৰ হৈ সকলোকে নমস্কাৰ জনাইছো। Thank you so much for your love and support, যাৰ বাবে আজি আমি এনাজৰীৰ সহযোগিতাত এই ৱেবিনাৰ চিৰিজটো আগবঢ়াই নিব পাৰিছো। আৰু তাৰ বাবে সকলোকে ধন্যবাদ। এটি চেষ্টা যিটো অৰ্গেনাইজেশ্যনৰ হৈ মই কাম কৰি আহিছো, তাৰ বিষয়ে মই অকণমান ক'ব বিচাৰিম। এটি চেষ্টা stands for Society for Empowerment and Social Transformation Actions. Our aim is to usher in a positive long-term transformation in the society through empowering the marginalized groups. It is just always tried to be there with a helping hand. স্কুল কলেজসমূহত বিভিন্ন ধৰণৰ এৱেৰনেছ প্ৰগ্ৰেম অনুষ্ঠিত কৰাৰ পৰা আৰম্ভ কৰি বানপীড়িতসকলৰ কৰি তেওঁলোকৰ বাবে সাহায্য শিবিৰো বহু সময়ত অৰ্গেনাইজ কৰি অহা হৈছে। And with your love and support, I think we will be able to execute more such plans in future. Now, I would like to request my co-host to introduce herself. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Radhishmita. Hello, everyone. More naam Monika Mohanto. I'm a part of the Enarjory team. And Enarjory is an organization, is a non-profit platform through which we try to bring various initiatives which are working for social causes and for social upliftment and empowerment all across Assam and Northeast. Our vision is to recognize young leaders and old leaders and who are trying to bring a change that we talk about to see in the world. So we have been conducting regular everyday webinars from the last 2-3 months, and this is one such webinar. We conduct our health webinars every Monday. So I would, on behalf of Anna Jodi, I would like to welcome you all for this Monday session, and it's a pleasure to have everyone with us. And we would definitely have a very enthusiastic and a very warm session for sure. Over to you, Vidashmita. Vidashmita?
If we go offline. Yeah, Nisha, you can move forward, I guess. Yeah.
All right. So our today's main purpose of the webinar is to bring out the change makers who have been working tremendously in the sector of mental health for youth and to build a community of change makers through that. So it's my privilege to have with us today here the team of Youth Wellness Hub and Center for Psychological Care and Mental Health Promotion amongst youth. So Youth Wellness Club is in Tishpur, and they have been working primarily for the youth, for the adolescents, to ensure that they get a safe space for all and to ensure their wellness by building hope and resilience among youth through action and reflection. And today we have with us here the founders and the main team behind the Youth Wellness Hub. I would like to introduce Dr. Diptarup Chaudhary, coordinator of the Youth Wellness Hub. He's also the assistant professor of Department of Clinical Psychology. Welcome, sir. It's an honor to have you here with us. We also have with us Pramita Sen Gupta. She's a second-year MPhil trainee in the Department of Clinical Psychology. Welcome, ma'am. We also have with us Tama De, clinical psychologist, Youth Wellness Hub, Department of Clinical Psychology. And last but not the least, we have with us ma'am Barsha Barua. She's a first-year MPhil trainee in the Department of Clinical Psychology. And with that, I would like to formally welcome the speakers for today for this session. And again, say that it's an absolute honor to have you all with us. And today, with this session, I hope that we would be enriched with the knowledge of what are the things that Hub is doing and also what we can do as a society, as a community for social change and to bring forward the issues of mental health to the mainstream society where we see it without any stigma and we see it as something that needs help and aid and through which we can build sustainable societies. So I would first like to invite Dr. Diptarup Chaudhary sir, who is the coordinator of Youth Wellness Hub, for him to share his journey with Hub and how it all started. And sir, over to you.
Uh, thank you, Anajuri team, Onekha and Ridusmita, and thank you for agreeing to change the format of your regular webinars. And right at the outset, I think I would like to express our gratitude for even changing the format. You generally have one person as the focus and his or her work. But we had requested that can it be done where the team can share their thoughts and ideas and their journey together, because in some way we felt that our whole journey, our whole identity of Youth Wellness Hub is basically a place where various thoughts, people, ideas, experiences come together, dreams come together. So that was also one of the reason, and that we are having the core team of Youth Wellness Hub. Please remember that this is the main team right now, the core team, but there is also a lot of people who are working towards supporting us and supporting the idea of Hub. Um, Now, what we thought we will do is uh, we will share our journey in the first 20, 30 minutes, and we would love to be interrupted. In fact, we want lives to be interrupted, ideas to be interrupted, so that we pause and reflect on what we are doing and why we are doing. So you'd love interruptions. Um, so the idea is that we are going to share our journey, the various phases, various legs of our journey by one each of us as we go ahead. So I will primarily talk about briefly for the next 5 minutes how the whole idea of Youth Wellness Hub was born, um, and uh, it's a very interesting story if you look back at how it was born. 2018 World Mental Health Day. Generally, World Mental Health Day is celebrated, is observed all over the world as a very important day for mental health. Sadly, for many of us, it is the only day where we think about our mental health, where media mental health comes into the forefront because of World Mental Health Day, 10th of October. And each year there are various themes, one theme each year that we all focus on. So 2018, the theme of that year's World Mental Health Day was young people and their mental health in a changing world. And uh, and it was during that year our institute, which is Logopriyo Gopinath Bordoloi Regional Institute of Mental Health, LGBRIMH, in short, in abbreviation. But I guess many people will understand it or connect it as Tejpur Mental Hospital. Um, well, sometimes Tejpur Mental Hospital is also not easy for people to connect. Pogola Fatek is the easy way to connect to many people, which also tells us in some way how mental health has been understood or received or not received by many of us in the community. Nevertheless, it's a almost 150-year-old institute, which started its journey as a mental asylum, turned into a mental hospital, then became a postgraduate institute of research, of service and teaching, where we produce regularly mental health professionals, whether they are clinical psychologist, my own department of clinical psychology, or psychiatrists, psychiatric social workers, or psychiatric nurses. And also there are other support staff and other departments are there. So our institute decided that together we will celebrate World Mental Health Day, and I was one of the core team to conceptualize the whole program. And we thought that we will, rather than celebrating it for one day, it's too short a time. Why can't we have it for one whole month? And in order to do one whole month of program, we came up with ideas. All the various departments came together, and it was during Durga Puja also. So before Durga Puja, after Durga Puja, going to the community, doing things with our own patients, doing it with our own staff members, our own students. And we also thought it's important that we go to schools and colleges, and we thought that it would be interesting if we, rather than going and teaching them, lecturing them, creating awareness through workshop as an expert, how would it be if we say that we are going for a dialogue, and we called it youth dialogue. In Ohomia, we call it Juboala. So that was where we started we went during that time to colleges, universities, and high schools. And then we started talking about mental health. And we felt that it was not an easy task for us to talk about mental health because we do not have the language. It's not about Ohumia, it's not about English, it's not about Hindi or Bengali or any other language. It's just that it is difficult for us to put ideas into words when it comes to our mind and mental health.
I think sir is lagging. Sir, Mr.
You
Shmita,
should
can
not
you?
focus.
Okay. So sorry, sir. I'm so
Yeah,
sorry. You were lagging for a while. Please go ahead.
yeah. So so we thought that let us create a space, a permanent place at the end of the program where young people will come together, and we will share our own knowledge about mental health, which we generally have been trained, and we do research in the field of illness, in the field of what is going wrong. But can we also look at what is going right? It's not that all the time it has to be an illness, it has to be a disorder or a disease to talk about something else. What about wellness? And it was that idea which resulted in the formation of Youth Wellness Hub. And I think we have a PPT also. Toma, can you just put up the PPT if possible? So some glimpses of the program that that we are having during that month-long thing, which finally resulted in the idea of Youth Mental Health, Youth Wellness Hub. In Youth Wellness Hub, basically there are a few points that we were very clear about, that we should have these things. These are non-negotiable things. For example, we wanted to validate and honor young people and their lives, uh, their thoughts, their beliefs. And we felt that young people are the expert of their own lives. uh, we are called as mental health experts, mental health professionals. Yes, we are experts of illness. We are experts of disorders. But we are not experts of how well we can live our life. We are generally not the experts of wellness. And young people are the expert of their own lives, their lives of well-being. So we thought that it's important that we should acknowledge it right from the beginning. We are also clear that it should be a space which would give an idea of belongingness, a space of solidarity, feeling connected, connected with each other, connected with ideas, with dreams, with lives. So it is not a one person's job or one team's job, but a place where people should come together and enrich each other's lives by providing what they have with them. And finally, we thought that whatever it is, it has to be a safe space, a place where young people should be unhesitatingly expressing themselves, and expressing themselves not just through words. Yes, conversation or dialogue is very, very important for us, but it is also through art, craft, through poetry, through recitation, through stories, through anything, anything that we could not even think of. So that is where our journey began, from an idea which we wanted to practice on the ground by making it sensitive to the local needs, by also understanding what is needed at the local level by the schools, colleges, and university young people. So this is the photo of our youth wellness hub, the space. As you know that we are also very fond of old things, buildings, some type bungalow that got renovated, that we renovated, and also young things. We, some of us are maybe old in age but young at heart. So the balloon is an expression of that. And Toma, you can just take us forward with some of the more images. Yes, these are the some of the dialogues which almost see looked like a workshop. That was the first time we were trying out, reaching out to the month-long program of Jubo Alap. Go ahead. Yes, this was the formal inauguration of our initiative. We also gave a name called Jubo Mon Meet, and it's interesting. These are the three different languages that we used. Yuva is to do with, we expressed it in, sometimes we call it Yubo means in Okhomia, young youth. Man in Hindi, and meet is like English. We put it in English, which is like to do with gathering. So it was more of formal starting, and then how we went ahead and evolved, and we realized that it has to be informal settings. It would be small spaces with warmth. Next one, Toma. Yes, so just a glimpse of how we were able to create small bit of sensitization in the media. This was just an example of our starting. This was November 10th, which was the ending, 11th of November, which was the end of the month-long program, from 10th October to 10th November 2018. Next one. Yeah, so this was also the first advisory committee meeting that we had in the month of March 2019. So remember that in advisory committee of Youth Wellness Hub, not only we had faculty members of colleges, schools, and our own colleagues in our institute, but also we were very clear that we need to have young people as resource persons, as experts, as advisors. So we also had young people from colleges and universities, local colleges and universities, to represent. Next. Yeah, this was the space where we started our journey. It was only one room that we got, a hall in a rehabilitation center. We call it Center for Rehabilitation Sciences. And the hall's photo, I'm going to show you the next image. Yes, this is an empty hall that we inherited initially when we started our journey. and we really liked it. It was the afternoon sun, and there were no furniture, and it was sitting on the ground, sitting possibly in a round circle, and we used to have our initial activities and addas. We thought that the term adda captures the ethos or spirit of youth wellness hub very well. Adda, informal conversation with a sense of fun. Next. Yeah, so this is one of our initial meetings. So we were very clear that whatever we do, we should first discuss. We should first understand why we are doing it, whether we are able to have the young people at the center of whatever we are doing, what gain or benefit they will get, and whether we can continue with the mental health conversations around mental health in whatever we do. Next one. Yeah, this is where I would stop for the time being, and if there is any question, if you want to ask any question, otherwise my colleague Toma will continue with more specific activities since then, how we have been trying to reach out to the community, to promote mental health, to talk about mental health in a way which is easier to connect for young people.
Thank you so much, sir. I loved how you said that you bring dreams together in such a beautiful thought, and to break the stigma around mental health. And it's like the entire time you were speaking, I had a smile on my face, because it's such an amazing vision and such an inspiring story of what you have done. And as I would like to
What
invite our
we have done,
next,
yes, just to correct you, what we have done. You are right.
yes,
Together.
how you all have done. I would like to call actually Ma'am Toma Day, uh, uh, and Ma'am would probably take over what you said and tell more technical details as you mentioned. So over to you, ma'am.
Sorry. Yeah. So good evening to everyone. So what Sir was mentioning was how ideas came together, and but then the ideas were actually our own ideas, ideas who were there in the institute as students or as staff member or as teachers. But we didn't get a scope of getting ideas from outsiders, youth outside our campus. So there it all started. So actually, I'll go back to two sides. I'll start from here. So interestingly, when I was just preparing in my head what I'm going to tell about youth wellness hub, I thought this room is something that I should not miss out. So, and what Sir has mentioned just few minutes back, actually, I was thinking of the same thing, that the simplicity of this room, and this is the only place, this is the only space that we were given by our institute, and we had done so many things in this small space. We were here in this, we used this room as like to do all our activities for around 6 7 months before we got shifted to our new venue. And this room was little magical because of its simplicity, its color contrast, and the sunlight that it used to get. So mostly we used to sit here, plan, and prepare for our upcoming programs, and also used to do different activities like youth adda and youth meets. I'll talk about it a little later. Like these terms feel very alien to most of you, but then I'll tell about it. So we started from this room, and then we got then actually we got an invitation from the Tezpur University, and an invitation to join in a festival called the Assam Science Festival, and it was hosted by Tezpur University, and it was a 3 days program, and mostly it was a program for students, school students and college students, on various the science models and different things, but it had nothing to do with, in fact, mental health. But then we were invited, so we thought we'll look for some possibilities here, and I'll talk about it, that how we tend to look for these possibilities everywhere. So here it started, and as you can see, this stall, this Youth Wellness Hub LGBRMH stall, and besides that there are many stalls given by young school students. So this is a stall that we are given, and we did various activities here, and that was the starting point of brainstorming and thinking, like what should hub do and how will we go. So so we did many things, like something called this weaving our strings, something called the gratitude board, something called the internet addiction something. So the intention of these activities were various, some of which were to bring out the strengths of youth, some were just to understand how youth are struggling with internet addiction, and so on. And then some of them were just to spread awareness, like how mental health should be talked about and how mental health is important for all of us. So but then what we did differently was, uh, we added a fun component to it. We tried to do it in a fun way, so that the young children, young school students and the youth of college would feel more interested to know about it, to visit our stalls and to know about more about it. Yeah. So okay. So then what happened was, before I come to this picture, I'll just tell that we saw huge enthusiasm and excitement in the visitors of the stall, and we had around 500 footfalls there. Uh, and most of them had given us feedbacks, like they would like to visit hub, and they would like to know more about it. Some of them had shown interest in helping other youth of their age. So from those people, few of them started visiting our hub, and then we started wondering, or we started learning, that how should we go ahead, how do we help them, or how do we take help back from them. So there we started doing some of our own training programs, like we started learning through trainings from outsiders, outside agencies and institutes. And one of them is the Umi Child Development Center, who are working in Bombay. And two of our teachers, whose pictures are not here because they had only taken these pictures, I guess. So they're the most beautiful people I have came across. I know is their names are Jehanzev and Raviraj. They came here all along, all the way from Bombay to Tezpur, to teach us how we can go ahead and um, to um, to explore with us that what is this space and how can we better make use of it. So yeah, so we did learn a lot from them. And there we actually, I hope in between we got actually disconnected. I guess Diptarup sir must have mentioned about how we feel that the that we are the experts of our lives, and that we all have some agency within us. And then many things actually, like how the problems that youth face are actually a different entity. It's not within the person, but it's something outside the person, and many things that we have learned from them. And we started following the approach, which is the narrative approach, in doing most of the activities in hub. So yeah, so we actually had learned a lot of things, also through various fun activities, and also yeah. So as we learned from them, and as we go on learning, now also we are learning, but we started trying out things. So what we did is known what we did, and also what we still we do this sorts of activities called Youth Adda. Here we meet often a group of youth, mostly they're coming from college or university, and we try to initiate a conversation amongst this youth on various themes. The themes, something which are relevant to them. Maybe wellness, maybe if wellness is an important thing for to talk about, or maybe why gratitude is important, having gratitude is important, or maybe how these young people take care of themselves and others, and many things that we felt and they felt important to talk about. And in this the intentions were always to to create a safe space for them, a safe space which is non-judgmental, where they can share everything, not only the problems they are having, but if they had a great day, maybe also they can share that, or if they have seen a great movie, or if they in love of nature or any other things, maybe mountain, they can come here and share that. And we used to do, you can see here a long strip of paper, what we call is collective documentation, where they all come, and after we have this group discussion for kind of maybe focus group discussion, then we sit together and we try to document what we have talked about through some kind of paintings. So they often sit and they draw these things, and to have a hold of on the things that things have been spoken, so that they just not evaporate. So yeah, so we started doing these things with various groups coming from various colleges. And yeah, we also started receiving feedbacks on what went well and what can be done better. Few of them had said that we miss some kind of music over here, we love to have music over here, so we arrange some kind of music. So we in each state we started learning from them that what should be the environment of youth wellness hub, what should be the activities that youth will love, and so on. So this is also another kind of youth adda, where we had a even larger group, and it was very interesting, where we talked about traveling and what traveling does to us, and why traveling is important maybe. So these people, they mostly came from the organization called Green Hub. Shortly after a short period, I'll tell more about them. They are a very good friend of us, and they are and is they are guiding us in many ways. So yes, now I'll tell about them. Green Hub has been our friend and our collaborators, and yes, they are almost like advisors of Hub. We learn from them, they learn from us. And a most interesting event happened last year, 2019, which is the Green Hub Festival, the annual festival that they have, which had happened in our auditorium, in our institute auditorium, where Youth Wellness Hub also collaborated with them. Collaborated with them in terms of maybe giving ideas or some other things as well. So it was a very interesting program which actually enriched our own wellness. Me being a person who loves to see film, I could say that it was great for me. I mean, it was a beautiful program that we had. And yeah, so from that, so we also had different kinds of programs there, like singing, movie screening, pot painting, pot painting, where they can just come, a few people, school students and others can come and draw their own pot and just take it back there with them. Then we had something called walk with the insects, where in the early morning we went out to I forgot the name of the place again. Then we yeah, so we I will talk about it. So we had an interesting activity where many biologists were with us, and we learned about insects there, which is just out of our area, but we were learning from everyone. So yeah, we followed them. So this was the group. Now following that, actually in the this festival was an opportunity for us to meet with many people outside our area, or our I mean our discipline or our field. And one of them was Nitin Das, who is a filmmaker, and he also does something beautiful, which is called the healing forest work. I mean, how nature can help us in the process of reaching wellness. I mean, enriching wellness. So we had called him back to learn from him. We met him in the festival, and then we had invited him again to teach us that how can we do it on our own. And then he took a 3-day training program, 3-day workshop kind of thing, where we went to the Taklav Pahar, and we did many activities, many mindful activities, something called mindfulness photography walk, and various things. And we learned how nature can help us to be mindful. Nature can reduce our level of stress. Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day, the mandatory group pick was also taken. So as we go on, as we continue to take training from various people, from people who came from Bombay to Nitin Das to Green Hub and so on, we also started learning from ourselves. So what we did was, a few minutes back I mentioned that how we there is a phrase called chance pe dance, which is almost like looking for possibility in everywhere. A few programs which were assigned to us by the institute. Maybe one was Swachhata program. Both of them were actually related to Swachhata program, and we made something out of it, something else out of it. So once we brought the indoor patients with and ask them to sit with the professionals who are working in the hospital, and we did a drawing competition. And the other instance, we did something called bag making. It's a bags in it's a jute bags, which were to give the information or spread the awareness that how plastic is doing harm to us and to the environment. So how jute bags can help us. So we did another sort of competition or sort of activity where the patients and the professionals of the institute sat together and stitched jute bags on their own, and they also had taken that bags with them. So yes. So, and there are many other instances as well where we just looked for some possibilities to do something and we just did it, be it good or bad. I'll end with this. And we continue. I'll just say that it was not a really a straight way that we had, but we had many ups and downs in between. Sometimes we were frustrated, we were feeling what we are doing we don't know, meaninglessness, and then we got the meaning back as we had some possibilities in front of us. We continue to do the youth addas, and one thing I'll mention just after this was youth meets, which I haven't talked about so far. But then we also needed to energize ourselves because it was too much for us. So we did this open mic program to energize ourselves, where again with the help of Green Hub fellows, they came to our institute. They showed, they had shown us some of the short films, and we had a beautiful musical evening where students and staff and children of the staff members came up and they danced, they sang, and they recited poems and whatnot. So these are the evenings uh, that used to give us. It's like almost like glucon for us, almost like the spinach for Popeye. Yeah. So yes, and from here, I think Barsha will continue. But before that, I'll just end with this one important thing, for which I didn't put any pictures because we didn't have consent from them, were youth meets. So apart from doing these things, we also made few people who didn't have any sort of diagnosable disorder. So we know that when we are depressed or when we are having significant anxiety, we can go to the hospital or to the private practitioner to seek help. But then when we are not really that sad, but we are also not okay with something, we don't know whom do we approach. We do not have any idea about that. So we had also kept a space for that as well, which we called the youth meets, where many people had visited us and had told that they might need some sort of help, but they do not think that they have some sort of big problems to reach out to the hospitals. So we spoke with them for 2 days or for 3 days, or for some people it was more than that. But yeah, and interestingly, there were another group of people who came and who said that now they said that they are not coming to seek help, but they want to help others out there who are seeking help, their friends maybe, or their somebody in their family. So we also kept a space for them as well, where they can come and they can give us ideas that how we can help them to help others, or they can come and they can just directly help someone else, having us around. Yeah. So yeah, I would like to know anything. I spoke a lot. I'm realizing, but is there anything that?
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Tama, ma'am, for such an interesting session. You have talked about collective documentation, Green Hub Festival, work with the insects, and I found that part very interesting, actually. I have a short question.
Yeah.
Every day we have to come, you come across people of various age groups, like কেতিয়াবা ধৰক সৰু ল'ৰা ছোৱালীও আহে, কেতিয়াবা অকমান ডাঙৰো আহে, কিন্তু যিখিনি ফান এক্টিভিটিৰ কথা ক'লে, পটাৰী, পট পেইন্টিং, or Green Hub Festival, or work with the insects, বাকি এজ গ্ৰুপ খিনিৰ ভিতৰত আপোনালোকে কেনেকে মানে ডিল কৰে সবৰে লগত, ধৰক সৰুখিনিৰ লগত কেনেদৰে ডিল কৰে, বা অকমান ডাঙৰ এজ গ্ৰুপৰ লগত কেনেদৰে ডিল কৰে, সকলোৰেতো ধৰক অকমান হলে এটা ডিফাৰেন্স এটা থাকিব, সেইটো কেনেধৰণে ডিল কৰে আপোনালোকে?
Okay. So I just like to point out that even though we have kept it open for now, we have kept it open for the school children, but the phase that I was talking about, I would say it's almost from last year, 2019 March, to that extended till October, maybe October 2019. So far, this time we were only having people from university and college, bachelor students and master students, or maybe some PhD students. Yeah. So it was almost from the same age group. We didn't really have any very young children of young age. So yes, and And what else did you ask? Can you just ask again?
I think what will happen is that now that Borsha is going to tell about the festival, uh, we can see how the younger age group started coming in with some of the events which became popular. Am I right? So maybe the next part of the presentation by Borsha will just touch on this idea of what happened to other age groups or younger age groups.
Okay, ma'am. Varsha ma'am, over to you.
Thank you. First of all, I would like to say about the Youth Wellness Festival. A festival to Youth Wellness Festival to basically 2019 9th November and 10th November. এই দুটা দিনতে পতা হৈছিলে আৰু বেসিক্যালি ইয়াত তিনিটা ধৰণৰ প্ৰগ্ৰাম ইনক্লুড কৰা হৈছিলে। এটা হৈছে ৰাউন্ড আপ ইভেন্ট, সেকেন্ডটো হৈছে open event, and third to is the sign up events. So depend on the event schedule, we have lots of program, and in every program we have different kind of participants from schools, from university. Basically we are collaborated with Green Hub and Tejpur University, especially mass media and communication department. They are mostly working with us as a volunteer or as a core member of Youth Wellness Hub, and we are planning lots of things. We are doing meetings within 1 month. We are planning lots of things, and as an end product, we organize this festival, and it's a very interesting and it's a very memorable event for us. আৰু Youth Wellness Festival টোৱে আমাৰ যেটো হাবৰ গ্ৰোথ হয়, ইয়াৰ গ্ৰোথটো বহাবৰ কাৰণে বহুত সহায় কৰিছিলে। যেনেকে আমি কিছুমান প্ৰগ্ৰাম আগৰ পৰা শিকি আহিছিলো, যেনেকে হিলিং ফৰেষ্ট, অলৰেডি টমাদি বহুতখিনি কৈ আছে। হিলিং ফৰেষ্ট হওক বা কিছুমান পেনেল ডিসকাশন হওক, পটাৰী হওক, এই কিছুমান প্ৰগ্ৰাম আমি আগৰ পৰাই অৰ্গানাইজ কৰি আহিছিলো। কিন্তু যেতিয়া হাবৰ প্ৰগ্ৰামটো ষ্টাৰ্ট হ'ল, তেতিয়া আমি কিছুমান নতুন মানুহৰ লগত কিছুমান নতুন প্ৰগ্ৰামো ইয়াত ইনক্লুড কৰিলো। যেনেকে ইয়াত হিউমেন লাইব্ৰেৰী, যাৰ বিষয়ে প্ৰমিতা দিয়া আপোনাক পিছত ভালদৰে কব। তাৰপাছত ইণ্টাৰেক্টিভ থিয়েটাৰ, ইয়ত পেনেল ডিসকাশন, যিটোত LGBTQ, যেটো এটা বহুত রিসেন্ট সময়ৰ বহুত এটা চৰ্চাৰ বিষয় হয়। সেই বিষয়টো আমাৰ হাবৰ লগত জড়িত হৈ পৰিছিলে, যিয়ে মানে যিখিনি people আছে LGBTQ community, তেওঁলোকে যিখিনি প্ৰবলেম ফেস কৰে কামিং আউটৰ কাৰণে, সেইখিনি প্ৰবলেম খিনি তেওঁলোকে বিনা সংকোচে কবৰ কাৰণে সুবিধা পাইছিল। আৰু মই যেতিয়া সেই প্ৰগ্ৰামটো এটেন্ড কৰিছিলো বা এজ এ ভলান্টিয়াৰ তাত কাম কৰি আছিলো, তেতিয়া দেখিছো যে ইয়তখিনি it's like 10 years, 10 class 10th 12th or graduation first semester second semester students, they are actually open up about their relationship, how they actually feel within themselves. If they are facing some problem, they easily, without any hesitation, they can speak about that, and nobody even judging them what they actually said and what actually they are going through. It's almost a very suitable situation to communicate their own feelings. And next one is interactive theater. In interactive theater, the research person actually teaches the participants how they actually physically and verbally communicate the play and communicate their internal thoughts to everyone. It's the one thing which actually create so much innovation and so much creativity within us, and people from different background actually joining that program, and they actually feel happy within themselves. And তেওঁলোকে কয় যে যিখিনি পাৰ্টিচিপেণ্ট আছিলে তেওঁলোকে কয় ইয়াৰ নিচিনাও যদি প্ৰগ্ৰাম আমি সঘনাই পাৰ্টিচিপেট কৰিব পাৰো, আমাৰ কাৰণে আমি নিজৰ লাইফটো কেনেকৈ চিন্তাধাৰাখিনি কেনেকৈ কৰোঁ সেইখিনি আমি বুজিবৰ কাৰণে বহুত সহায় হ'ব। এইটো তাৰ বাদেও আমি পটৰি যিটো অলৰেডি আমি আগৰ পৰাও ইভেণ্টটো কৰি আছিলোঁ, পটৰিটো যিখিনি সৰু ল'ৰা ছোৱালী যেনেকৈ স্কুল কলেজৰ 10ৰ পৰা 12ৰ ষ্টুডেণ্ট যিখিনি আহিছিলে তেওঁলোকে তাক বহুত এনজয় কৰিলে। বহুত ল'ৰা ছোৱালীয়ে তেওঁলোকে গণেশ, হাতী, তাৰপিছত কলহ এনেকুৱা বহুত ধৰণৰ বস্তু তেওঁলোকে একচুৱেলি এক্সপ্ল'ৰ কৰিছে, বনাব শিকাইছে। যদি নাজানিছে তেওঁলোকে এটা ৰোল বেলনা মাৰিকে বনাইছে। তেওঁলোকে মানে এনজয় কৰিব বিচাৰিছে কেনেকৈ মানে প্ৰতিটো বস্তু যিটো ফেষ্টিভেলত তেওঁলোকে পাইছে সেই বস্তুটোৰ পৰা কিবা এটা শিকিব পাৰে। আৰু তাৰ বাদেও আৰু আছিলে ৱেলনেছ কাউণ্টাৰ। Wellness counter, one of the highlight of our program or festival. Here the youth are actually connecting with the volunteers. They are actually talking to them without any kind of hesitation, or maybe they are feeling very good, because they can put stickers and they can write some things, and they can ask the volunteers what is their ওকে। তো এইবিলাক বস্তুৱে কি কৰে তেওঁলোকক আৰু আমাৰ লগত কানেক্ট হ'বৰ কাৰণে সহায় কৰিছিলে। আৰু মোৰ বোধে এই যিটো ফেষ্টিভেল আছিলে সেই ফেষ্টিভেলে যিটো আমাৰ গ্ৰেজুৱেশ্যন বা মাষ্টাৰ ডিগ্ৰী ষ্টুডেণ্ট বা PhD ষ্টুডেণ্টৰ লগত আমাৰ যিটো কমিউনিকেশ্যন আছিলে তাক বহুত ৰিচ কৰিবৰ কাৰণে সহায় কৰিলে। তেতিয়া আমাৰ যিটো এডলেচেন্স ষ্টেজ আছে, এডলেচেন্স ষ্টেজটোকো আমি ইনক্লুড কৰিবৰ কাৰণে এটা সুবিধা পালোঁ বুলি ক'ব পাৰি। আৰু তেওঁলোক সঁচাকৈ সেইটোৰ পৰা বহুত সুবিধা আৰু বহুত সুযোগ লাভ কৰিছে বুলি তেওঁলোকে যিখিনি ফিডবেক আমাক দিছিলে সেইখিনিৰ পৰা তেওঁলোকে আমাক কনভে কৰিছে যে হা এই প্ৰগ্ৰেমটোত আহি আমি বহুত সুবিধা পালোঁ, বহুতখিনি আমাৰ উন্নতি হ'ল বা আমি নিজক নিজে বুজিবৰ কাৰণে সহায় পালোঁ। Okay,
so yeah, we are going to play a very short video here. Sorry. Just let us know if there is any difficulty. Okay. Can you see it? Is it visible?
Yeah, it's visible.
Hello.
A historic moment with a lot of prosperity, like the balloon that is going up right now, and that is possible for all of us working together. And this is a historic moment.
But a little bit of love's always on my mind, and a little bit of love so hard to find. Yeah. So a little bit of love I want to give. Someone who's got just a little bit of love for me. But a little bit of love's always on my mind, and a little bit of love so hard to find. Yeah. So love.
I don't like niggers. 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 I don't like niggas at all. Niggas always playing basketball. I swear every nigger's so tall. I swear every nigger fucking tall.
I think we have some interesting music coming up, which is not a production of Youth Wellness Hub. Am I right, Toma, or was that a surprise? Okay, I think one of the...
This was a production of this company. Yes, we do not like niggers. Yeah.
Okay. So
this company's anti-blacks. So you guys know.
Organizers, please help us out.
Oh, I am the organizer. I'm telling you to continue. This is part of the song. Just continue. Band chart. Continue. God damn street shitters. God damn it. Just continue, man. Stop being a street shitter. Just continue.
Yeah. You're most welcome. I think.
Why is everyone?
Hello.
I guess we really wanted to get interrupted.
Yeah.
So this is one way of getting interrupted.
Okay,
I just wish that the interruption was after the video, but it's fine. Toma, you can continue without finishing the video. Yeah.
Let's continue.
Nice. Let's continue the video. Yeah.
Let's do that.
Yeah, can we please continue?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Please let us know if it is visible.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is it correct or not?
Need a little bit of love.
All right, let's continue with the discussion then. I don't know what happened. We
Let's
never had this
continue.
kind of before. Yeah.
That's fine. So just to add to what Borsha was telling, the reason why we wanted to have a wellness festival is in some way to remember our journey, because you might remember that I said that it was 10th of November in 2018 that we got the idea from celebrating the World Mental Health Day. And then it was 2019 last year, 9th and 10th of November. So we were just finishing 1 year, and we really wanted to celebrate our birthday, the birthday of Youth Wellness Hub. And we are also excited because we got a new space. Our institute had been looking at our efforts and the small bit of impacts that we are trying to create about mental health in the local community. So that's where we thought that let us call everybody, reach out to people and invite them to a space which we created.
Oh yes, you like this song, yeah? You like this song.
It's me. Can you please turn off your mic? It's creating disturbance. Sorry. Pranshu, are you there?
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. We're really sorry about that.
Sorry. I'm
Who
so
is
sorry.
doing? All right. We have no idea. It never happened this before.
This
And no
has
problem.
Anyway.
I think there are surprises, so that's how life is. So should we continue?
Yes, please
The
do.
last part
Yeah,
of the
Yes,
yeah,
journey.
please. Yes,
Yeah,
please.
sure,
yeah,
sir. Yes,
yeah,
please.
yeah, yeah. Promita, over to you.
Not start our video because it's showing that the host has stopped the video.
Yes, I did. I did stop the video. Just let me allow it now. Okay. So now you try. I stopped the screen sharing immediately, and I have to kick out who is the person. I have no idea who it was. But anyway,
Our video has been restricted, the access to the video, like we cannot switch on our video mode.
oh, that must be from your side. So
Just check.
You cannot start video because the host has stopped it, it's showing.
uh, let's see. I allowed screen sharing
So,
because of all.
Promita, can we go ahead and check the screen sharing whether it is there, and with your voice in the background till we figure out how you could have your video. Yeah, yeah, great.
Yes,
We could
sir.
see. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, everyone. As my other teammates and obviously sir have very vividly tried to mention the journey of Youth Wellness Hub. So after Varsha told about the Youth Wellness Hub festival, that was like a journey and remembering whatever we have learned, whatever we are trying to learn. And this was a phase where we have learned a lot. And some of the things we know how to modify, remodify, transform, and all that thing. And since then, we had many activities like youth meets, youth addas, all these things were going on, and other activities were also going on. So the youth wellness of journey was quite good. It was smooth. We were becoming comfortable in our own skin, in our space. But then, obviously, COVID happened. And when COVID hit us, as we know, in every sphere of life, everything seems to be halted. We also took a pause because we always believe that if we don't take care the mental health of ourselves, we can't really look for helping others or creating the space. So yeah, we took a pause and we thought what we can do, because coming here based on this lockdown, distancing, physical distancing, so we were struggling. But then we took our time, we went back to our hub volunteers, the other people, the youths who had visited our youth wellness hub, and we take up something as called quarantines. If you see the name, it's not quarantine, it's quarantine. So this was something, the very first virtual or online activity that we had taken up as youth wellness hub. And in quarantines, we had asked if they can share any things which are keeping them well in these difficult times. And as you can see, there are many people who have come, the youth especially, they have said what are the basic things they are doing on a daily basis to keep their mental health alive and mental health at peace. So these were the things that were giving us hope and that were giving us ideas. So how can we stretch up our youth wellness hub activities on an online basis? Next. Yeah. Yeah. So the next thing was, you can see this is something called quarant codes. So quarantines, we had asked that if what are the activities they are doing on a daily basis to make themselves feel at peace, to make them feel comfortable. And quarant quotes were like this: sharing about any poetry, sharing about any story, sharing about any quotes, that other things that keeps them going on these difficult days. And we had got some lovely quarant quotes, and if you can just go on our youth wellness hub Facebook page, you can definitely give it a look, and these are wonderful. And with all these ideas and giving us a hope that we can move forward to our online and virtual activities, we come up with series of activities, and we started off with something called as book club. Yeah. So book club was basically a fun gathering where intentionally we had chosen children's book. Though children's book seems that it's very easy, only the illustrations are there. These are very deep, I must say. So we started off with a children's book, and we welcomed everyone on an online virtual basis on Saturdays, as we earlier used to meet. Our youth addas were mostly on Saturdays. So we kept the Saturday, only the medium had changed. Honestly, we were shaky, we were afraid about the feedback, about the response. But fortunately, right now, for the past 2.5 months, we are running successfully book clubs. And not only that, what we do here, we have something called at read alouds. We read aloud the books, and we also welcome other youths. They can come, and we call them as bookworms. So this is basically owning the book club. It's book club. It's not only us. It's the initiative taken by Youth Wellness Hub, but it is equally shared among all the youths, and they can come. And by youth, I mean anyone who is young at heart. I think Sir had already mentioned about this. So we are right now at almost the 5th session of book club. And parallelly, as Varsha has already mentioned about human library we had in the Youth Wellness Hub Festival, and we had school students, their principals visiting us. So the concept of human library was very nurtured concept of ours, and we were looking forward how we can implement this. So human library is just like that. There will be human book, and what we mean by human book is like, and we believe that every one of us is a potential human book. We can share our stories, our life stories, and with that, the main idea, the main foundation of Youth Wellness Hub is that building solidarity and connectedness. So we thought, why can't we do something like human library in this difficult time when there are so many stories of hopelessness, so many pain, sufferings are around. So we have just started our session of human library. In the last Saturday, we had our first session of human library, and our notion was to build solidarity and connectedness. And we had kept the theme as hope. So yeah, and we are looking forward to have human books from any one of us. It's not only from Youth Wellness Hub. Any one of us can share freely, and we can assure you that whenever somebody is sharing their life story, the story will be kept confidential, and there will be no judgment, no shame, no blame, no anything, any sort of thing that, and it will be a non-critical space for us. So with that, I would not like to stop, because Youth Wellness Hub journey is ongoing, and we are hoping that we'll be coming up with so many different kinds of ideas. And another thing I would really like to mention, due to COVID-19, due to being constrained in our home, when we felt very isolated, and I still remember Tomadi had invented one word like "wisolated." We are not isolated; we are wisolated. That is WE, wisolated.
Soul.
Yes, soul. Yeah, SOUL, wisolated. So yeah. So we felt that not only youths from Assam, not only participants from Assam, all over the India, from various states, we have got participants, starting from West Bengal, Maharashtra, from South India, from other Northeast states.
And also from Nepal.
Yeah, and also from Nepal. In the last human library, we had participants from Nepal. So as we all know, and as Youth Wellness Hub members, we feel and we believe that there is always a silver lining in the cloud. So maybe COVID-19 has given us that wing, so that we can explore, we can go beyond our territory, and we can not only for the youth of Assam, but also we can look for other possibilities. As Tomadi has correctly mentioned, that we are always looking for possibilities, and we are very hopeful that in this crisis situation also we could come up with possibilities, definitely with the feedback, definitely with the hope and cooperation from others. So with this, I think we have come up to the last section of our presentation. Yeah. I would like in sir or any of my hub teammates, if they want to pitch in and add, or I think we are good to go with any discussion or any question, because we have talked a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, I guess you are right. We are open to questions because I think a lot of material has been shared during our journey, and I think we were able to give you a taste of how we grew, and we also made it a point that we don't start with a position of an expert that we know everything. So let us go and generously distribute those knowledge and expertise to the young people. And we know very well that when somebody comes and gives a lecture, like I know it all, you should listen to me. It does not. It is generally not successful because that's where we start disconnecting. So in our journey, as you might have seen, that we we went with every step with the young people, with the ideas of young people, and we learned and we evolved, and we are still doing that. So it's you can call Youth Wellness Hub as an experiment, as a journey, as a learning and unlearning. So over to you for questions.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, ma'am. I have liked the idea of human library personally. Yeah, we are made of stories. We are a store of stories, actually. So, as ma'am said about the pandemic, এতিয়া আমাৰ এনেকুৱা হৈছে এই পেণ্ডেমিক চিটুৱেশ্যনটোৰ পিছত অবভিয়াছলি আমাৰ গোটেই যিটো চিষ্টেমটো অলপ হ'লেও চেঞ্জ হ'ব। আপোনালোকৰ যিবিলাক এক্টিভিটি হয়, আড্ডা, ইউথ আড্ডা যিবোৰ হয়, বা আৰু এতিয়া এনেকুৱা হৈছে ভাৰ্চুৱেলি আমি যিমানখিনি এক্টিভ হ'ব পাৰো, ভাৰ্চুৱেলি আমি যিমান এক্টিভ, কিন্তু যদি সকলোৱে এটা হলত বহি যেতিয়া এক্টিভিটিবোৰ কৰে, অবভিয়াছলি সেইটোৰ ইম্পেক্টটো বহুত বেছি হয়। কিন্তু আমাৰ এতিয়া এনেকুৱা হৈছে আমাৰ সকলো বস্তু এতিয়া থ্ৰু দ্য ইণ্টাৰনেট ভাৰ্চুৱেলি চলি আছে। গতিকে সেইটোৰ ইম্পেক্টটো এতিয়া কি হ'ব, কেনেকুৱা হ'ব বুলি ভাবে মানে আপোনালোকে? কিবা কেনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ চেঞ্জ আহিব, বা যিটো ধৰক আপোনালোকে ইউথ আড্ডা এটা হলত সকলোৱে একেলগে কৰোতে যিমান যিমান সোনকালে ইম্প্ৰুভ হৈছিলে, কিন্তু এতিয়া ভাৰ্চুৱেলি কিমান ইফেক্টিভ হ'ব পাৰে?
It's also too early for us to say whether it is having an impact or not, because COVID-19 is such a scenario which has destabilized everything. We are no longer sure about anything. Definitely not about the virus or how it is affecting us. But we have become sure about one thing, that we need to stay with uncertainty. We need to stay with things which is beyond our control, and still remain sane and still remain composed, calm. And in that way, COVID-19 has in a way helped us to exhibit, to share with others what we have been learning all through. Whether it was pottery, whether it was a poetry session, whether it was interactive theater. One of the core idea of all the activity was, number one, sense of solidarity and sense of belongingness. We need it more now, definitely more. Even when we are physically distant, we should not be socially distant, the wrong terms that we have been using earlier. And we need to be more calm. So all the activities at the end of the day is where we would like to feel grounded. So feeling grounded is something very, very important in whatever we do. It's not just fun. If had it been only fun, we would have forgotten about things after the music. But we also see to it that there is a thought process. We want to plant a seed of the best possible you in whatever you do. A seed that you can also do something, even a small thing. So I guess in a way we are quite hopeful. Our online venture, or translating things into online platform, and based on our last 2 months experience with book club, quarantines, quarantine courts, and now human library, where we had to close our registration within 24 hours because it was getting too much of request. I think we are hoping that that the need remains the same. Only the appearance is different, and we will be able to learn that technology is what we are hopeful of. Toma, can you just add any quick feedback that you have received regarding book club? Are there some sense that we can make
So,
whether
before I do that, I'll just tell that I'm just responding to the question that was shared by Anisha, I think, that whether this using virtual medium Youth Adda can be as good as the face-to-face Youth Adda. But I just would like to say that we believe in the word hope, HOPE, and I must say that in my view, when there is an option for going and meet up a person, I will never prefer to call up the person. But here, the option of meeting up the person is not there. So it's almost like not having a conversation or having a conversation over the phone. So we would prefer to see this hope that, okay, if that is not an option, let's use what we have. And again, coming back to the concept of looking for possibility. So it's in Bengali there is a proverb called, those who knows will understand this, nei mamar theke kana mama, kana mama bhalo. So that's like having something is better than having nothing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what. And then responding to what sir was telling, the feedback was quite unexpected for me, because I being the one of the facilitator, not take the term facilitator, but it's almost like organizer. If I consider myself as one of the organizers, then I was really apprehensive, how will it go and so on. But then people have said that the we also asked if they had any difficulties that they faced during the meeting. uh, 2 3 people has shared that they faced technological difficulties to remain connected with us, but then they have came back, and they have came back again to meet us over Zoom. So there it tells that yes, we know that there will be difficulties, there will be problems that we'll face, but we will see what better we can make anything out of it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for that. I actually have a question for the team. So these are such trying times, that the youth are like in constant pressure to do something productive. It's like you have to do something productive, but you're not using your time properly. And there's so much of pressure in along the lines of like all your life you might have thought like I don't have time for this, but finally you do have the time. You are at your home, and you are at a safe space. College and schools are closed, and there's a lot of pressure amongst youngsters to keep themselves occupied, and that can be very draining if they are not being able to do so, because these are very trying times and people tend to may just want to just lie down and not do anything, and that is okay. So in such situations, what is your message to the youth, and at the mental stage that they might be going through in terms of living up to their own expectations and also to the obligations that the society imposes upon them?
And one thing I want to say, if you wanted to answer in Assamese, you can answer in Assamese, okay?
Yes. For sure. Also, I would just ask the people who are in the webinar, if they have any question, please use chat box or do ask. Over to you, sir.
So, Promita and Borsha, if you could just respond to it.
Okay, thank you for your question. মোৰ বোধে যেতিয়া আমি লকডাউন প্ৰথম পৰ্যায়ে যেতিয়া আমি অনুভৱ কৰিছিলো তেতিয়া কি হয় আমি যিটো ভয় অনুভৱ কৰিছিলো বা যিটো ভয় আমাৰ বাঢ়ি গৈছিলে কাৰণ সকলোতে কৰোনাৰ প্ৰভাৱ পৰিছিলে তো সেই প্ৰভাৱটো ধীৰে ধীৰে কৰি এতিয়া সময়ৰ লগে লগে কমি গৈ আছে আৰু মানুহবিলাকে সেনেকে তেওঁলোকৰ দিনবিলাক তেওঁলোকৰ সময়সূচীখিনি তাৰ একৰ্ডিংলি ছেট কৰিছে তো যিখিনি কলেজ ষ্টুডেণ্ট হয় বা যিখিনি আমাৰ ইয়থ হয় তেওঁলোকে কি কৰিছে তেওঁলোকৰ স্কুল হওক বা কলেজ হওক তেওঁলোকৰ টিচাৰবিলাকে তেওঁলোকক ভাৰ্চুৱেলি থ্ৰু জুম হওক গুগল মিট হওক বা বেলেগ ধৰণৰ প্লেটফৰ্ম হওক তেওঁলোকক বহুত ধৰণৰ পাঠদানৰ ব্যৱস্থা কৰিছে যিখিনি তেওঁলোকক কাহি না কাহি হেল্পো কৰিছে আৰু কেতিয়াবা কেতিয়াবা বিমূৰতো পেলাইছে একজেক্টলি বিমূৰ নহয় বাট something like that তো সেই সময়ত বহুতখিনি ইয়থ যিখিনিৰ লগত মই কথা পাতিছো তেওঁলোকে যিমান তেওঁলোকৰ মনৰ ভাষাবিলাক কৈছে সেই হিচাপত মই ক'ব বিচাৰো যে ইয়থ বিলাক বৰ্তমান বহুত শক্তিশালী হয় তেওঁলোকে নিজৰ যিখিনি এৰেনা আছে যিখিনি তেওঁলোকে কাম কৰিব পাৰে যিখিনি তেওঁলোকৰ টেলেণ্ট আছে সেইখিনিৰ ওপৰত সদায় কাম কৰি আছে বহুত ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আগতে হয়তো তেওঁলোকে কিবা এটা কৰিম বুলি ভাবিছিলে বাট সময় নাই পোৱা ঘৰত থাকি মেলি ঘৰৰ মানুহখিনিক বুজিবৰ কাৰণে সময় পোৱা নাছিলে তো সেই বস্তুখিনি তেওঁলোকে এক্সপ্ল'ৰ কৰিব বিচাৰিছে বহুত ল'ৰা ছোৱালী এনেকুৱা আছে যি নিজৰ প্ৰতিভা বিকাশৰ কাৰণে গল্প কবিতা ড্ৰয়িং হওক বা গান লিখা হওক গান গোৱা হওক আৰু বহুত এনেকুৱা ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আছে যি ইনষ্টাগ্ৰাম হওক বা ইউটিউবত হওক নিজৰ প্ৰতিভা বিকাশৰ কাৰণে ওলাই আহিছে আৰু তেওঁলোকে নিজৰ যিখিনি সমনীয়া আছে বা নিজৰ যিখিনি লগ বন্ধু আছে সেইখিনিকো তেওঁলোকে ইকুৱেলি ছাপোৰ্ট কৰিছে এনেকুৱা নহয় যে মই অকলে কৰি যাম তোমালোকে থাকি যাবা তো কম্পিটিশ্যন নহয় ইটছ এ হেল্ডি কম্পিটিশ্যন বা আমি ক'ব পাৰো তেওঁলোকে নিজৰ লগতে লগৰ যিখিনি লগৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আছে তেওঁলোককো উৎসাহিত কৰিছে যে মই যদি কৰিব পাৰিছো তোমালোকেও কৰিব পাৰা তো ই বহুত এক প্ৰকাৰে চাব গ'লে ভাৰ্চুৱেলি আমাক সেই কানেকশ্যনটো তেওঁলোকে ক্ৰিয়েট কৰিবৰ কাৰণে সহায় কৰিছে তো ওকে প্ৰমিতা
As Varsha was saying, I completely agree with her. As Varsha was saying about these things, that our youths have strength; they can do wonders. I just wanted to add one thing that this is the time. This is a very novel situation for all of us. We all are going through this difficult times. So this is a time where definitely this competition, this pressure of being productive, all these things are there in and around. This can be a time to take a pause and to reflect. As I think we have also talked about gratitude. So seeing for the things that we have that they already have. So maybe in that way they can see that they have some bit of control over their life. Maybe right now they are feeling very uncontrollable because they don't know when the exams will happen, when the college will open. They don't know what to do. They feel that the other লগৰীয়া বিলাক বহুত বেছিকে কাম কৰিছে মই একো কৰা নাই pardon my Assamese, it might be very wrong, but yeah.
We like your Assamese.
Thank you. Yeah, so I was just saying that maybe if they can take out this time to see that this can be a time when they can reflect. I know that reflecting is a word which is a very heavy word, but just in a day counting the blessings whatever they have, taking control of the things that are actually in their control, like maintaining taking one day at a time. I think that would be one of the message that we can give. And I think we feel that there is not exactly one clear cut answer to this, how they can help and how they can manage in this time, but taking one day at a time, looking for the things that are under their control, I think that might help. Yeah.
I'll just add one line, 2 lines maybe. Sorry. So actually, we did when we started exploring the online medium and how we can reach out to youth. We did already. Pramita had mentioned about these quarantines, and we had exactly asked this question to the youth population, and few of them had we had asked what they are doing and how they are keeping and the things they are doing, how these things are keeping themselves well. So and they have came up with wonderful ideas like planting, how they're spending their times, maybe most of them a common thing was cooking, that they have started to cook good food for them. Then movies, watching movies and series. So it might also be harmful, I will never know, but then they have said that these things are helping them in various way, and they had shared also how these things are keeping themselves well. So going back to the idea that we follow is we are the experts of our life, so it will be very difficult job for us to tell that what will be the best for someone, because the person is the expert of his or her or the person's life, so that he will be I mean the person will be the best to understand that what is that thing that will keep themselves well in this difficult time. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am. As you have already said about the youth problems, I have one question. Actually, it is the problem, it's my problem actually. এতিয়া বহুত এনেকুৱা ল'ৰা ছোৱালী আছে যিবোৰ ধৰক ঘৰৰ পৰা দূৰত আছে, পঢ়ি আছে, ঘৰলৈ আহিব পৰা নাই। লাইক মি, ময়ো এতিয়া দূৰত ঘৰলৈ যাব নোৱাৰিলো। ফৰ ইটছ বিন 5 months and I'm here stuck in hostel. So এতিয়া মানে এনেকুৱা হয় যে আমাৰ যিবোৰ কথা কৈছে যে আমাৰ প্ৰতিভাবোৰ আমি বিকাশ কৰিব পাৰো বা আমি যি ইচ্ছা কৰিব পাৰো, কিন্তু আমাৰ মেণ্টেল ষ্টেটটো ন কেতিয়াবা এনেকুৱা হৈ যায় যে একো কৰিব মন নাযায়, ফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰেটেড হৈ যাওঁ পটককে, ইৰিটেট হৈ যোৱা যায়, খং উঠে কাৰোবাৰ ওপৰত। So any suggestions for that, like meditation or something, what to do exactly? I know everyone has their own problems, everyone has to deal differently, still some common solutions and expecting for you that
Yeah, I think I
অকল
just
মোৰ প্ৰবলেম বুলি নহয়, এইটো হয়তো বহুতৰ হৈছে, বা মই ইয়াতে যিমানখিনি জানো, মোৰ লগত যিমানখিনি ইয়াতে ষ্টক হৈ আছে বা মই যিমান জানো তেওঁলোকৰ সকলোৰে হৈ আছে। ফাৰ্ষ্ট 2-3 months স্মুথলি গ'ল, লাহে লাহে বৰ হ'ব ধৰিলো, এতিয়া মানে ফ্ৰাষ্ট্ৰেশ্যন টাইপ হৈ গৈছে সকলোৰে। আৰু পেণ্ডেমিক as sir said, it's uncertain.
Yes, thank you, Mridusmita. In fact, the interesting thing is that the 3 panelists, my team members, they are also like you, stuck in the hostel for the last 5 months, even more than that. If they had planned to go to their hometowns, they are not able to go. And not only that, we are continuing with our work. Our hospital is not closed. Mental health problems has increased. And it is and I know that sometimes it is very, very challenging for ourselves to keep our mental health in checks and balances, our mental health okay. And I'm sure that there were difficult times. We, in our meetings in the hub, we have struggled to come up with ideas. We have struggled because we know that we are personally struggling at our own level, and the struggles are of various kinds. We are also in a very, very privileged position, to answer this question, because our department has been a part of a national level telehelp line since March end, under the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So there has been a helpline, a central helpline, where people in various languages would call up to seek help, to express their distress. And this has been still running, and we have been a part of it for the last 3 months. And there are a lot of young people who had called up and said that this is a life which is something I really don't want to. I have never thought that I have to live a life like this. Whether they are stuck in hostel or whether they are stuck with their family members all the day, and they don't want to get stuck. The conflicts of ideas and ideologies between parents and children and young people had come into the forefront. It's almost like we are able to manage without COVID because we had many places to get connected to, go to, meet up, visit. But now we don't have those spaces, real spaces, or we have to get into virtual spaces that way. So coming back to the question that you asked, that I really feel frustrated, I really feel tired, I really feel sad at the end of the day and feel lonely. Let me tell you, it is a feeling that is felt by a lot of people. It is not something that you are alone in this difficult space of feeling something which is difficult. And the moment we start realizing that I am not alone in this difficult time, feeling these difficult emotions, it becomes easy for us to accept it. The moment before COVID-19, if we're feeling lonely, if we're feeling sad, the first thing comes to our mind is that, am I depressed? Do I have to see a mental health professional? Do I need to be careful about myself? But COVID-19, in a way, has brought out our sadness, our difficulty in adjusting to a very, very different set of life standard, uh, and has made us, in a way, equal, that all of us struggle with our mental health. But the issue is, some of us really struggle so much that we need to seek help. Now, that is where Youth Wellness Hub, that is where a volunteering network, that is where a friend who is in touch, who is in solidarity with somebody else, can come in help. You can have a chat with a person. You can have ideas of creativity that we are just discussing, which you never thought. The idea of productivity that we are discussing in the last question has become so different. So never somebody thought that people in their homes can create different poses of dance and make a collage of that and create a whole song, create a whole dance sequence. And there are so many examples of it. Nobody thought that that could be a productive thing. So if we start thinking differently or thinking beyond the box, or even get our feeling sad and low validated by our friends, by somebody who is accessible to us, maybe that is the starting point to feel a little calm and composed. Beyond that, if it is getting too much, beyond that, if you feel that uh, living life is getting difficult, we are there, because we are also basically a mental health professional. We just not only talk about well-being, but also we talk about mental health, mental disorders, or difficult times. We have, for example, in our institute, we have telemedicine center, telepsychotherapy centers, which are available. Our Youth Wellness Hub is also available through online consultation and online help. But I think more importantly, joining in the small programs that we are hosting, the book club, getting into an imaginary world of a kid's books, and listening to the stories and comments of friends, of other people who are also feeling like me, sometimes are more healing and more therapeutic than trying to reach out to a professional help. So I guess there are various things that we can try out during these difficult times, just so that we continue to keep our hopes alive. That's the most important thing. I don't know
Thank
whether I
you
was
so
able
much,
to
sir.
give you the answer in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Any question? Any question? You can just turn on the mic and ask it yourself.
I
Okay.
can go. This is Milan. So you
Eh,
said that
yeah, sure.
you have something about LGBTQ. Recently, you must have seen the news where these two young youth committed suicide, I think near Patsala, two gay men. So I would like to know what all, during COVID, do you have any session going on LGBTQ? And if there is, how could we collaborate? As some of you must be, you may be knowing, I do not know whether I mentioned to you or not. I myself is a trans man and have been talking to various places and colleges. And we also had a support group. Last year we had done 8-week support group. So would like to know what have you been doing for LGBTQ community and if there is any way we can collaborate.
Just a quick answer to it. We have uh, in our hub, we are especially very mindful of welcoming everybody and keeping in mind diversity issues, and that's where LGBTQ community has been somebody that we have been really open to learn from and also support. At our individual levels, we have been conducting research, meaningful research about the mental health of this community at this point of time. But that's more of an academic engagement. In Tejpur, there is Green Hub, and through Green Hub, we have been fortunate to collaborate with Hobdo. Our good friend Luku is somebody who has been very active in this field. So we also remember that Youth Wellness Hub is a very small space. We are hardly 3 or 4 people trying to do things and have so many hopes and desires. And one such strong desire is to reach out to people, LGBTQ group, community, and support them in the way the mental health support that is needed. We actually have been helpful. We have been fortunate to have our telepsychotherapy services going on for the last almost a month. And many of our clients who have been really struggling with mental health issues, who identifies themselves with the LGBTQ community, they are able to reach out to us for their help. But when it comes to a bigger platform, a platform like Human Library, a platform like Book Club, in fact, very interestingly, we choose specific books in the Book Club where the idea of diversity, where the idea of sexual minority and honoring them, their voices, are the subtle things that we try to do. We are yet to get into a more upfront collaborative work during this difficult time as of now, but we are hoping that we could do something in collaboration with the NGOs, with people who are directly working with LGBTQ. Any of my team members would like to add anything? Yeah, that's Milind. That's all for the time being from our side.
Do you have a 24-hour hotline? I mean, for in general.
We have a 24-hour hotline in terms of the COVID helpline for psychosocial issues. That is still continuing. We have a 24-hour helpline for information about our hospital and its services, but not the hotline that you're mentioning. We are yet to develop a resource base for that.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir, we have a question from Namrata. She asked, like, how does one access the telepsychiatry services that you are providing, and are these paid services?
Okay. Since our hospital is a government hospital under the central government Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, it's one of the three central mental health institutes all over India after NIMHANS and CIP Ranchi in the Northeast zone. So all the services that we provide is free of cost, including the medicines that are being provided. And the telepsychotherapy services and the services that are also provided by other departments. I have already mentioned about psychiatry department providing telepsychiatry or telemedicine services. Psychiatric social work department is also providing their services through phone calls. And we are also have our OPD open all these days. There were a few days where some of our colleagues have also been infected by COVID-19. For temporarily, we had containment zones. In hospital, it is bound to happen. But we continue to provide our services free of cost. And for more information, you can actually go to our website, which gives you an idea about how to register. Right now, we are focusing more of telecounseling, online services for already registered patients, those who we have been providing services for all these months and years. And for somebody who would like to register to us or receive our services for the first time, we generally encourage them to come once to our hospital, taking an online registration, so that that there is not much crowd, because we are also keeping in mind that patients should not get affected in general. So taking appointments and coming and meeting us once for a detailed evaluation. If it is somebody who is struggling with mental health problems or disorders, or if somebody who is just a little worried about their own mental health, if they're young or young at heart, remember that, like me, our youth wellness hub programs on Saturdays, they are most welcome.
Thank you so much, sir. I think that
we
was
have another question. So we have another question from Team Enajuri. What about the change in awareness you have seen after starting off the hub, sir? Hello? Hello? Am I audible?
Can you repeat the question once again?
Yeah, sure, sir. What about the changes in awareness you have seen after starting of the hub?
Any of my colleagues would like to respond?
So, change in awareness. Firstly, I want to point out that it's only 1.5 year that we are running, and we really need to go back and check how what impact we are bringing on them. But then, to tell you briefly, even having footfalls in hub on Saturdays, people reaching out to us from sometimes from the university, the Tejpur University or nearby colleges, tells us that the awareness, firstly, awareness of what you are talking about, awareness of mental health, awareness of health being available, what kind of
No,
awareness?
ma'am, it's me, Priyanshu.
Awareness of
yeah, it was my question. So I was talking about the stigma between the people about mental health. That kind of awareness I'm talking about. Like people think that if I'm going to a doctor for like a psychiatrist, they would just feel like the guy is crazy or something. They don't know much about depression, anxiety, and anything. But for them it's like ladka pagal ho gaya. That kind of feeling they get, and they're taking medicines. this is what happened among the youth mainly, and they're scared to like open up to their friends that I am taking medication and everything. So are your work reaching out to the youth that way? That
So
Yeah.
yeah, that's what.
uh,
So I think, Toma, I think I'll just quickly share a couple of points and then you can continue. If you remember, I mentioned that how difficult it is to step in our campus, the stigma, the huge stigma to seek out help. And the stigma is there in all ages, including the young people, because we don't know how to converse around issues of mental health. It's something which we have kept aside. We have not. We generally don't talk about it, and uh, and is it so? What we were doing right from the beginning, which has been one of the major force behind having the hub, is that when is it a good time to do, for example, going to gym? Is it when we have broken our limbs and we have bandages? It is during that time we should go to the gym and take care of our physical health? Or is it when we do not have broken limbs and otherwise we are able to move our bodies and hands and legs? Is it during that time we should go ahead and take care of our physical health? It is the latter, am I right? When we have not really fallen down. When it comes to mental health, it is the other way around. It's when we are really not able to manage and things have gone beyond our control. We are no longer able to hide it. It is when we seek help because we have no other option. We are not able to hide it anymore, or we cannot manage it with whatever ways that we have been trying out. Now, this makes it very difficult many a times for us in the hospital, because either it is already quite late, the young person has been suffering for a long time, or sometimes it is they have attempted to end their life out of hopelessness, and somehow they are not able to do that, and that's where they are brought to us. And we always feel that if we had a time machine and we could go back to the beginning, to when there were slight bit of distress that this young person started feeling, was there a time that where we could have changed the course of action, where could have changed the clock in some way? Now, it looks a very grand and a very dreamy idea, but public health approach looks at prevention and promotion rather than waiting for something wrong to have happened and then treatment to come during that time. 1.5 years that has gone by with small resources that we have been able to put in and the activities that we have done. Now we have inquiries that I have somebody in my college, a friend of mine who is not doing well. Can you help me? I have come to know about Youth Wellness Hub through somebody, and I felt that this is a space I can reach out to. We have been talking about safe space. This is an example where we see safe space being reached out, being tried out. Still, a lot of hesitation is there. Online queries, people reaching out to us and saying that, can I have a conversation with you over telephone, because I really don't want to register. Earlier we were very we wanted to be very professional. We wanted to say, sorry, if you're not registered, we can't see you, or we can't even get into a session with you. But now we have conversations, we have alap. The idea of adda is no longer restricted to group spaces, but also it has opened up spaces for anybody who has reached out. So we spend time with patients to build hope in that person, so that that person tells somebody else that, yes, this is a space where I felt good talking about. I felt that I did not have anything to contribute, but after the conversation, they did something. They helped me to see that I still am valuable. I still have something in my life. Now, these are all droplets in the ocean of mental health pandemic, if you call it, which has been there for a long time. It's not just COVID. We have been having mental health pandemic for a long time. We just have been ignoring it. But coming to the point whether it has impacted in some way, I would say that yes, it has started having the desired outcome or impact. The only thing is that we have to go on doing it in small ways and reach out to a lot of new people, reach out to places, reach out to organizations like you, through which maybe that droplet would add up and make a larger chunk of difference that we hope to see. Uh, am I able to respond to your question to some
Yes,
extent?
sir. Yes, sir. And the thing is, sir, I got a anonymous Instagram page where I kind of try to spread awareness and reach out to people. Like people reach out to the page and they just start talking about their problems. And whenever I see that they're suffering a lot, I would just say them like, I think you need to go to a counselor or someone, because as I am not a professional, I can just be a friend for you to talk. And I have seen many of them, like whenever I talk to them about the counselor, that person would never just message me after that. Like they're like, no, acha nahi hai jana, that kind of feeling. And one more thing is that I have seen like not in the Western countries, every school got a counselor. So have you ever planned of getting something like that, like reaching out to schools and yeah, that's what.
Yes. First of all, I'm really glad and happy that you are in your own ways creating a space, your Instagram page, and we would really love to visit that page and support you in whatever way. And I guess there is very important place, important part that you have been playing and others have been playing beyond our professional network, because this is what we miss, we lack. um, uh, we the idea, the second question that you have, that what about having counselors in schools? I'll tell you, um, maybe the kind of scenario that we have, the kind of resources that we have, uh, we that might not be the answer. How many counselors are you going to appoint? With the new educational policy, they have a very interesting solution of this problem, saying that let us have a counselor which will be shared by nearby schools, and that way we pool our resources together, which is a great idea, and I'm really looking forward to see how it gets implemented on the ground. But I am saying that as long as the basic attitude about mental health, the stigma around mental health, the lack of words and language around mental health comes in our way, we will not reach out to counselors, even if there are counselors, because the stigma around mental health, mental illness. So, what can we do to increase the conversation around mental health and mental illness? Instagram page is one. Similarly, creating smaller hubs like spaces, safe spaces, which are led by young people, which are led by school children themselves, supported by school teachers who are young at heart, who are open to acknowledging the expertise of young people. If we can create the small spaces, safe spaces, like hub, like what we have dreamed together, and we are able to dream it together only, not coming from expert position within a typical mental health setup. These safe spaces are something that can happen by few people, few friends coming together, whether it's online or offline. So I guess in the long run, ideas which are homegrown, connections which are made between friends, they are going to sustain, not just having a counselor. That's what we have been feeling of late. Am I able to answer your question?
Priyanshu, hello, are you there?
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for the answer. And yeah, I hope something like that happens soon.
It has
Yeah.
already started happening, you know,
Yeah,
virtually in
yeah,
your
like you
space.
told me. Yeah, and
In your space
you told
itself.
me. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. As you have said about the youth addas, I think we can also start it in our hostels who are stuck away from home. We can just, all of us can sit, talk, have conversation. We can laugh. We can share our stories. That will help. I guess that will definitely help.
Actually happen anywhere.
And yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
one more
true.
thing I wanted to add,
So,
sir. The thing is that after Sushant Singh Rajput's death, we have seen many of the people they just uploaded their status like you can reach out to me whenever you want. But according to me, the person who is depressed he would never approach anyone. So don't you feel like we should approach a random person like, hey, how are you? That might kind of like join the dots. Like it's like the chain, a kind of a chain we can create.
You know, I'll tell you one thing. When the young people come to us with a diagnosable disorder called depression, when things are really bad, and we ask the family members that why were you waiting? Did you not get to know about this situation, or who are the people who get to know about it? They say that, you know, we really didn't know all these things were happening for a long time. We felt that it was slightly different and difficult, and we never thought that it's a mental health problem in the first place. So in many cases we realize that it is may not be the family members, because the kind of family structure that we have typically not necessarily makes it easy for a young people to to share their mental health difficulties. But it is the friends, it is their colleagues, it is their hostel mates who come to know that there is something different for this person, and it is possibly easier for them to open up. Now, I'm not sure about random people, because I guess one of the basis on which we work as mental health persons, mental health professionals, or even in our group addas or youth addas, or even our online initiatives, is that making somebody feel safe can only happen if somebody starts feeling connected. So how do you feel connected? Unless there is a space which has a sense of belongingness, a sense of warmth in it. Now, in order to have a space of belongingness or warmth, you don't need to reveal a lot about yourself. You don't need to tell about your whole story, but some kind of connection, whether it is through poetry, through music, liking the music together, drawing, or any common interest, is where a person build a bridge, and that's where we reach out to that person. So I would suggest, yes, what you are saying, reaching out to somebody is very important, and volunteers and lay people and people who are having the expertise and has also felt like that are the best people to reach out to somebody else. But let that connection develop. Let it not be a random thing where please connect to me or reach out to me. Why would somebody connect? That is something, the intention, the sincerity, the warmth, the non-judgmental stance needs to get reflected in what we do. Possibly your Instagram pages, the comments that you make, the way you welcome them is an example of that.
thank you, sir. Anyone, any questions? Any questions? If you have, you can directly ask them.
I was just
turn on the
on
mic.
to what Diptarup sir just said now. Just two more words is just what he mentioned, that reaching out is important, very much important. But how do we do that? We really need to think about it and be sensitive about it. I just want to say that what the word that we have been mentioning repeatedly in this session is safe space, a space which is non-judgmental, which is a space where someone can just come and just spend some time and not talk anything at all. If that's kind of spaces can be created in university, in college, in schools, where I will not go out and knock in everyone's door in hostel asking, are you well, are you doing well, how are you? But then we will create a space where somebody can come and share if they are not bad. So how can we create this kind of space can be thought out. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I think we should wrap up the program here as it's already 8. And thank you so much for your such a good session. আমি মেণ্টেল হেলথৰ বিষয়ে বহুত কথা জানিব পাৰিলো, আপোনালোকৰ জাৰ্নিটো, ইউ ষ্ট্ৰাগল so much, আৰু আপোনালোকৰ উজ্জ্বল ভৱিষ্যত কামনা কৰিছো আমি সকলোৰে তৰফৰ পৰা, মই যাতে আৰু আগুৱাই যায় আৰু বহুত বেছি সফলতা পায় তাৰ বাবে কামনা কৰিছো আমি। আৰু so I would like to thank our group of speakers today for their valuable time and such a great session. Thanks to the team members of ETI, SESTA and Enajuri, and thanks to the technical support team also. And a big thank you to our audience for your love and support. Keep following our pages for more such webinars. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.